Today, I want to talk about the steps of manifestation. I'm not somebody who is into that like commercial manifestation. It's more, this is the process of creating anything in our lives, in ourselves. There is like a certain process, but there are lots of nuances to it. And I feel like that very like commercial, salesy online ones only show you like the basics, but it doesn't actually teach you how to like navigate it or create it in your life when things aren't like perfect, or you don't have a lot of like self-belief or self-worth or health to begin with. That manifestation can feel a bit overwhelming. But I wanted to make this video because I want you to see like the process, and then in other videos I make, it'll be more the nuances to do with that, like what could get in your way, like how to actually do this in your life, and why it works, and the best way that it works. And I feel like a lot of people either make it really complicated or show you those surface level steps, but you can get stuck in it when you take those steps too literal. Like thinking, if I haven't completed step 2, is something like healing your inner child or getting rid of your limiting beliefs or whatever it is like people get stuck at that, because the thing is, we're never going to be like healed. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, you can reach like the tippity top goal that you've got in your head, and when you get there, there'll be more to experience. And I feel like if you reach a limit that like there's nothing more to experience, or there's nothing more to like grow, then you probably just die or like evaporate because you're so like enlightened. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. But there's always going to be more. So it doesn't mean that you can't have what you want now and not be healed. Like, there is no healed. Healing and growth are like the same thing, because you're just starting at a level for you. And everything in the game of life is like your game. So stop thinking that you're behind. You are where you are because that's your level. And you are successful when you become the person by a tiny percent, like each day or each year or whatever, that you want to be, not what society told you or somebody else told you is successful. Like, it's you against you. And when I even say against, you can't really fight like with like you have to kind of kill it with kindness. When we kill off our old identities and parts, we kill them with kindness and love and acceptance and integrate them into the whole, because we don't actually get rid of them. They just become integrated into the version of us that we like want to be, where we feel more aligned. Anyway, let's get into manifestation and the kind of process of it. And there are so many nuances. I'm going to try not to go on tangents because I'll keep those for their own. And believe me, I have experienced all the tangents. So I've manifested like for myself, like not only like healed when I burnt out, like healing the burnout, but in the process realizing like I had all these hormonal issues that I've had since a teen, like probably before, or health issues, I should say, since a child. Like I had always a health issue cropping up, like ear infections, tonsillitis. I even had like epilepsy at one point, just manifesting all these health problems. And then I got my period, and they were like periods from hell. And from a young age, I had to be put on the pill because of the symptoms were like so severe that like I literally could not function. And then went on the pill, and it kind of covered up the effects where like I couldn't function, but I was still, because the pill doesn't actually heal any hormonal issues, it just kind of covers them over a little bit, but they're still the cause of it is still going on in the background, because the pill doesn't actually get rid of the cause of your hormonal issues. And when I came off of it, then when I was trying to have a baby, and then decided, because of being a functional clinical nutritionist, I learned a lot of why I didn't want to be on that. It just didn't align anymore. And for some people it will, until you, but I don't think you should take it and not address the other issues. It shouldn't just be, and I feel like our generation, and definitely the generation before, it was like this pill for every ill, and I'll just keep taking that until that symptom goes away. And if another one pops up, it's like whack-a-mole, I'll just take another one for that and like cover that up, when really they're not getting to like the root of the issue. And this actually really aligns with manifestation as well, is because we try and fix the cause, or like what's happening in our external. We try and fix the symptoms without actually treating the cause. And although we can use sheer will, say you don't like your job, or yeah, and you just keep moving jobs, or you're trying to change the job, like in the external, I'll just be better, or if I make more money, it'll just make the job a bit easier. And yet you're never like happy. You keep reaching those goals out of sheer will and sheer force, and using a lot of energy to make it better, to fix it, when you haven't addressed the cause, which is the fact that we are always creating from the inside out, and what we believe about ourselves, what we believe we deserve, who we think we are, is what we attract on the outside. So if you think work is meant to be hard, it's not meant to be pleasant, or I have to suffer to make money, or I have to do something that I don't enjoy to make money, if you believe that on the inside, nothing you do externally, you can change your job, you can change your career, you can change, like, even to an extent who you're being, but like surface level, like if I just do more, if I just learn more, if I just make more money, then I'll feel. But it's not, it's always feel that way, and then watch it ripple out into your world. Let's get into it. That was a long intro. So for manifestation, you have to realize that everything is energy. And I could go into that, and let me know if you would like a video about that. But we're just going to say that. We're just going to say it right now and not try and over explain. But everything is energy, and everything begins in energy before you see it in your reality. So when we're trying to change the external, when we're trying to change our health or our body or a job or our money, without actually first energetically embodying the person and the situation that already has that, then we are just trying to push it up a hill. Like, it's going to be really hard. You're going to use a lot of energy. And the other thing is, like, connecting to it energetically can stop you moving in the wrong direction, because sometimes we want things and they're not actually what we want. They're what we think we should want. They're what like our parents think we should want. They're what society says we want. And if we don't actually like connect with the vision first, connect with it and see, like, does this actually resonate? Like, is this actually what I want? We can actually start doing the things, wasting all our energy trying to achieve this thing, and then we have it and we're just like, this is not what I wanted. Or we, again, if we're not in the energy of who we want to be when we get there, the person who already has it, when we're creating it, if we're doing it again from sheer force, from using like physical energy to get it, to make it happen, to fix myself, to, you could feel that pressure from control, from urgency, from lack. That is the energy of the thing. You may get the thing you want, you may get the job, you may get the body, and you'll still feel lack and scarcity and urgency and pressure, because the thing that you get is built in the energy in which you have built it. Because let's go into it. Let's put it up here. I love the way I have this whiteboard and I only use it. I get a bit ahead of myself. So here's you. Oh, you're kind of angry, but yeah, maybe you're sad, frustrated. Anyway, and you want to be here. So let's think of some example. I'm just going to take like mine. So I was just like, I had a few things going on actually, but so we'll just keep it a bit like simpler. But I burned out. But this, at the time, I was like, oh my God, why is this happening? And now looking back, like it makes so much sense why this happened. And it wasn't like I had like a million and two warning signs before this happened. Ignoring like that, like health issues, and just really though, like I said, everything starts energetically. And our thoughts are energy. They're actually like electrical, chemical, like impulses. And our emotions are energy in our body. And if I knew in any way how to like tap into my body and listen to my intuition and listen to my own like inner guidance and stuff, like it was screaming at me. Like the thoughts were just so negative, scarcity, lack, I have to, pressure. If I just keep doing more, it'll get better, without actually stopping to be like, but what are you doing more of? You're doing more of what you don't want to do. Like it makes no sense. Yes, you're building. I had everything. I had like everything you should. Well, I had money, the career, relationship, all of the things, and yet the voice in my head was just like, it was just never good enough. A lot of fear, a lot of just, again, uh, all of that then had unprocessed emotions. Emotions or something like they were just something I didn't even know I could control. They were things that like it just came over you and like made you feel out of control, and then your emotions like trigger the thoughts. And when things were going good, or when basically I could like book holidays or do things that I wanted to do, like with the money, like I needed more things. I needed more shopping, more holidays, more events to go to, more distractions from the fact that the everything I had built was just like not what I wanted. Actually, I should say not everything. It was being in like a job that I didn't want to be in, but feeling stuck. This is the thing, we're never stuck. Always take responsibility. Whatever you have, you chose it. Okay, that can be like really triggering if you're in like a shitty situation, I know. But when you say, I actually chose this, you take responsibility from it and you can take like control back. You're like, so if I chose this, like what identity is the person who chose this? What do they believe about themselves? What do they believe about the world? And it becomes very like triggering, because like if I was like, so if I'm in a job that like I don't like and I'm doing like, I'm thinking thoughts and stuff about like really negative, I just think I'm not worthy of a job or a life that I like, that not even like that I love. You should be able to love your life, believe it or not. I didn't know that. I thought that was just the thing I just had to do, so that then I could just go have the money to pay for the life I wanted. When it's not true. It's like your whole life can be that energy of like, I get to, and I'm so excited. Like I didn't get how people were excited to wake up to do their jobs, and wouldn't get the Sunday scaries and wake up on a Monday with like crippling anxiety. Actually, my anxiety used to even start on like Friday night. I used to feel free, like free as a bird. And the anxiety used to come in like Sunday morning, like even a day out. Didn't even get that. But That was just, it was who I was being. It was a state of consciousness I was in. It was a state my nervous system was then in. And then the more you feed it, the more you believe that, the more you feed that reality. Anyway, so just say you're here with maybe it's your health. Like I said, I had burnout, but I also had a lot of like hormonal issues ever since my teens, and I just like never addressed them. Like it's just so weird. Like, as in you just assume they're normal, like crippling period pain and like PMS, and people just choose again because who told you? Your doctor told you. Who I won't even go into conventional medicine, but like, they were taught in their school by outdated practices and things like that of what's normal and what's not normal. And then like pharmaceutical companies just want to sell their drugs. So they promote that as the cure. And everyone just takes that, and we'd rather not look at our shit. So we kind of don't question it. The fact we're like, yeah, still don't feel 100, but I'll just keep taking this pill and things will be fine. But when basically I got sick, so sick of my own shit, and literally sick, like burnt out, where I like could not function. It was bad, bad times, and quite like depressed with anxiety, depression, all stemming from like the health things. But it was just all a build up of mental and emotional stresses caused by my state of being. My nervous system was really dysregulated. I lived in fight and flight for years, and freeze. Like freeze was kind of my default for things that I didn't feel in control of or overwhelmed. And eventually it led to burnout and like what's called collapse of the nervous system. And collapses where like depression happens. And I just wish more people knew like that. I thought, it was me failing, like at the time, like I'm just not good enough, I'm just not cut out for motherhood. I blamed all this. When looking back, I just such understanding and like compassion for myself that this was the end in a long line of things I had been doing and who I was being. And like it's obvious now that that would be the end result. It's obvious. And with that comes like autoimmunity and even worse, hormonal issues and things like that. And just people, again, they just give them a pill and just hope for the best when they're not actually sorting out like their state of consciousness, their who they're being and their identity. And that's the work that you do that creates the ripple effect that changes your emotions and changes your thoughts and changes your action. And suddenly you wake up and you're like, I'm like a different person. I'm a different person. I can't even, sometimes it's like you can't even understand the state of consciousness that you were in because you are a different identity now. And then manifestation is that new identity, that new state of consciousness creates a new reality. And, when you visualize the things that you want, you energetically put like a little energy bead in the jar of what you want. And each time you think of that as if you already have it, each time you feel the emotions of already having that, each time you visualize it, each time you allow yourself to be in the frequency or the vibe of already having it, you put a little bead in the jar, you put a little bead in the jar. Every time you take an action that that person would take who has what you want, you put a little bead in the jar. And let's just say you get what you want when the jar is full. That's manifestation. And sometimes you can get stuff like instantly because maybe you already had some beads in the jar, or it's like energetically it was right there. You're right next to it. And sometimes it takes a bit longer. Like the jars maybe, well, to the universe, like nothing's big or small, but to you, maybe you feel the separation between you and that thing. And when you feel separation or lack, that you don't have it, then you create more space between you and that thing. But if you keep putting the beads in the jar, you will eventually, like it's inevitable that you will get what you want, or as I say, this or something better. So same with the body, like with body, This is pretty easy to like understand. Obviously, if you just keep doing the things that you would do if you had the body that you want, say you're just maintaining that body, you keep doing that, you will eventually have that body. But every time we say it's not working, or we feel the lack, or we're hating on our body, it's like, would you hate on your body if you already had whatever body you're looking at? No, you'd probably be like, I'm looking good. Like looking, putting on your clothes and you're like, what's this like? Feeling good, like I should. And this is the thing, we don't let ourselves do that because we think, but I haven't got it. I haven't earned it. Like, as in, I don't deserve, but you deserve everything that you want. That is a given. That's not it. It's everything about manifestation is in your power. Nobody's giving it to you. I know they like to say like God or the universe. It's not giving it to you. It's giving you what you give yourself. And then it's like compounding it. Every thought you think, that is that person. Every action that you take in that energy of what you want, it's like the universe is like, yes, yes, and compounding it. And every time you think the other way, and it's not creating scarcity, you're allowed to experience contrast. Like in physical reality, there's always going to be polarity and contrast. So you are going to experience contrast, but there's times and you think thoughts. And when you're at a new identity, you're like, that was a weird thought. Or like you don't have to believe it. Like I, in my teens, like had a really bad relationship with my body, and like I hated on it. And that's a type of consciousness now. I just cannot, like, I'm like, oh my God, like how did I think like that? Like poor teenage me, like just hated my body and just thought if I had this body, like my life would be better. And we all know like it's not true. That's not true. Because you'll get to the weight and it's like, I still don't feel like that. And it's because you didn't feel like that in to begin with. So what you've created is out of like lack and not enoughness and self-hate or whatever. So that is how you feel. Even when you've reached the physical goal, it's not about the physical goal. It's like who you are on the way there, who you become. Is like, I am the type of person who eats healthy and exercises because I love myself, not then I'll love myself. It is because of, no, because I do. It's out of devotion for myself and the work I want to do. When I get there, it's like I want to enjoy the work on the way there. Like, I don't want to do things that I don't want to do in order to get somewhere, thinking it'll be better, because it won't feel better, because it's like, I actually just hated everything I have to do to achieve this. So why do I think, because if I've done all that, like I'm going to have to do that to kind of maintain it. So of course I'm not going to enjoy it because I still hate it. Like still hate it. And you might be surrounded, like you have the riches, you have the body, you have the relationship, and you're still like, nothing's enough. I hate my life. Like, what next? Like, how can I just feel better? How can I feel the feelings that I want to feel? And you feel the feelings that you want to feel because you choose to feel them, like right now. When you wake up in the morning, you flip your thoughts, you flip your state, you learn what makes you feel good and do that thing and stop making it hard. When I used to wake up, and this is like on the healing journey, like I said, I've taken many detours, tried lots of things, and I got stuck in like the healing because I'd wake up and then it's like, oh, I can't do the thing until I feel this way, when it's like, just do whatever you need to do, whatever you feel to get you in the energy. Decide on the energy. It's not about being the perfect person or like I have to do, like say with the body, it's like somebody online says, I work out like 5 times a week and I eat these 3 meals on repeat. And then you're like, okay, I want that, so I'm gonna like do that because they told me to do that. And then you're fucking hating it. It's like, I don't even like sweet potato. I don't even like mince. But that's what they do. And it's like, you're probably not going to feel great, even when you'll get their body, maybe through sheer force will, like absolutely gagging into your bowl and like hating every workout if you can. More likely people like drop off because you just can't maintain things that like don't, like if it just feels all like force and stress to your body, then you'll probably burn out before you get there. But if you do get there and you haven't burnt out, just know the energy in which you built that body will still be the energy in which you're in. Like it won't be good enough. Or sometimes you get that like little temporary high for like minutes, and then you're like, this isn't, now I need this. There's always something else. Or you'll manifest uh trouble in your relationship or at work. So even though you've got the body, it's like that consciousness, because you've made it out of that, like that's still there. You still fed that state of consciousness of lack and scarcity and fear. So that'll pop up in another area of your life. Okay. Get back to the process. You were here. So whatever it is, health, body, money, job, I don't know, like you're just having issues, not liking it. It's just not right. You just feel inside it's like not right. So then you have to energetically, so this is where like, meditation, visualization, just anything. This doesn't need to be like an hour's process like Joe Dispenza, although that will help you, because like the longer you stay there, the more in tune you get with that energy. But this is, I am doing it now, and I just tap it like throughout the day as I'm doing other things. I'll do it waking up in the morning and before I go to bed at night, but also like in the shower, making something to eat, especially if it's good, because guess what, that person in the future, they're still eating. They're probably still having a cup of coffee, they're still waking up in the morning. So you just tune in to what would they be thinking and feeling, and what would they be looking at, and what would they be saying, and who would they be with, and where would they be if I had what I had. And the thing is, it is not about at all what you're visualizing. So don't worry if you can't like see it. It is about the feeling, the feeling, and also just checking in with what they're saying, because I want you in the day when you're having like that polarity of like thinking of the other thought, I want you to like replace it with what they're saying, even if it's unrelated. It's just like, just choose the new identity. And each time you do, you're putting, what did I say, a bead in the jar. Just basically. So what are they? Okay. Oh my god, thinking, feeling, what actions, oh, what beliefs, like what do they believe about themselves and the world. And again, you can jot these down. Like, don't be journaling all day, unless that's the thing, unless like journaling gets you into the vibe, and then you can like go about your day in that vibe. But if you're spending like all the time journaling, just jot it down, because the whole point is that you're doing this in the flow of your life. It's not that you're, yes, at the start you can set aside time to like connect in and feel into that and get a vibe for what that's like, but mostly it's just in the flow of your day, is being so conscious that anything, every time you get out of the vibe, you do something to get you back in it, whether that's like flipping the thinking and feeling. And when I in like my membership and when I work with people, like I teach you tools to actually be able to do that. But like, we can also just choose to do it. This is the thing, everything is a choice. I want you to remember that. Whatever you choose, when you're in lack, when you're in scarcity and fear, be like, I'm choosing this, right? Like I'm choosing this. Let's get awareness around this. Let's look at me from a high, as if you're looking down at yourself. And it's like, okay, we're choosing this right now, but I want to remember that I want these feelings: peace, love, abundance, freedom, joy, whatever it is. Um, and like creativity is like one of mine as well. Growth, health, and these are the things like I want to feel. So if I'm not feeling these, then I'm not in the vibe. And my job is to get in the vibe. And like number one, if you can just choose it, just be like, oh, such a silly Billy. I forgot. I forgot. These are my feelings, not the other one. And we're not feeding the old, we're feeding the new. And sometimes when your nervous system is like really dysregulated and you're really stuck, then there's some action you need to take, and that action doesn't need to be towards the dream life. It can just be to get back to center, to get back to neutral. And an example, like if you're very anxious or stuck and things like that, it's just like, for me, it's literally like have a shower, have a bath, go for a walk. If you feel up to it, like exercise, but like a walk that is like path of the least resistance for me. Eating a good, like, nutritious meal that I love, and just getting back in, like, or listening to something, just get back to the neutral, and then from neutral work our way up to like how we actually want to feel. And again, low effort ways of that is like gratitude is like, if I'm on my walk and I suddenly get like fear or anxiety, doubt, like I'll just start focusing on what am I actually really grateful for right now, because and then as I'll actually raise my vibration then by thinking of things I'm grateful for right now that are here, that are happening in my life now, in my current situation. And then I'll, in between that, dot things that I actually want. So it's like I'm genuinely grateful for things that are happening like right now. And then I'll like dot into that feeling, like those higher vibe things, and it will raise it up. And it's really like a titration thing, which works really well. Anyway, I've totally gone off like the process, but basically the process is to always be in the feelings as much as possible that you have. And then you will have, like I said, the old frequency, the old identity will come up because it doesn't like being killed, doesn't like dying. So it will come back with a vengeance, and it will make you think thoughts, and they're really critical and they're really negative and they're really bad. But you have to, this is where meditation and mindfulness comes in, because you have to recognize that. And I used to believe that voice, and by believing that voice, it's getting what it wants. It's pulling you back to the old frequency. But it used to be like so convincing. So you used to make you think like, you will not be safe. You will not be okay if you don't listen to me and do what I do, and stop being happy. Stop that, because you could die. That's basically what it's like saying. You're not allowed, because they'll kick you out of the tribe and you will die. And if you give up this job that you hate, it's better to hate the job than do anything new, than face the unknown. It's better to be miserable, because you're alive. You're miserable, but you're alive. This has worked for us. So let's not rock the boat. But you just have to ask yourself, like, is that the life I want to live? I want to look back and be like, I'm so glad I stayed in that job that made me miserable but safe. But I got like my couple of holidays a year that made like that I could actually breathe and kind of enjoy, while the other like 300 days of the year I suffered to no end with anxiety and just hating my life. But that was that is the life I want to live. No, that's a lie. We've been told that lie. And I didn't know anything about energetics, and I did a lot around like psychology and the mind. I could understand that, but you can't think your way out of an energetic problem. That is the thing about this is health. Everyone's like, oh, the supplements and what do I eat or what do I don't eat? No, 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 no. Start with the energetics of it. And yes, like alongside of it, do your nutrition stuff and things like that. But if you're not able to like listen to your energy and your body and your intuition, then you're never going to find the right path for you. So you'll be following all these other strategies or things like that that like don't really work because they're not, you're following somebody else's thing and that may have worked for them, but that's not your blueprint, you know? And when you're like in tune with your body and your energy and things like that, you'll actually be able to tell like where to go, like which direction to go in. And even within that program, say you find somewhere I really align with this person, and then even within their program, you can decide what you align with and what you don't align with. And that will heal you much faster than however much money and force and rigidness and perfectionism you're putting into what you're trying to do. Just listen, following like what your body's saying is like a lot more, but your body has to like trust you for, you have to trust your body, I should say. Because if you don't know how to read it and you're dysregulated, you won't be getting like those true signals because they're quite subtle. So when we're in survival mode, it's quite hard to like listen and read that. So you have to pour some energy into yourself to get to that neutral 0 point where you can feel a bit calm and be able to tap in to what your body and what your intuition is like saying to you. So the first step is to visualize, get clear on what you want, but most of all on how you want to feel when you have what you want. Because so go, we're like, I'm going to say visualize, but like whatever it is for you, it's just like feeling the feelings, deciding the vibration that you want to feel. Because right now, I don't know if you know like the levels of consciousness, but it's like, you know, shame, these may not be the actual way, guilt, like anger, fear. I'm pretty sure anger is above actually fear. Like lack. And then there's like neutral. Oh, I think courage, neutral, or something like that. Neutral, acceptance, surrender. I apologize. David Hawkins, I think his name is, I'm probably butchering this. Basically, up the top is like enlightenment, Buddha level. And we've got like abundance, joy. And what is it under there? Is like authenticity is like one of the highest. And that is because authenticity means that not only are your thoughts, feelings, state of being, emotions, actions aligned with who you want to be, but who you want to be is what your soul wants. Because we could be aligned, like we could be doing all this work, like the manifestation, the affirmations and the getting in the feeling and the meditations and the taking aligned action. We could be doing that, but if our vision is one that our parents have decided that we, you know, this may be unconscious, but if it's something that like you think you should want because society said or your parents said, or it's like that's what status, that's what success is because you saw someone online. If you're chasing that, you could be in alignment with that, but it may not, you're like, like, why is this still not it? Like, because inside, like, I still don't feel great, or there's still a lot of shit going on in like other areas of my life or my health. But like, I'm doing the things, I'm like aligned and stuff. It's because that's aligned with your ego. But authenticity is embodiment of the person who you can see who you want to be at a soul level. That is like, and that looks like, unfortunately, some people won't get it. Like, I I don't know what your like astrology is, but like that can be where it's just, like you have this like vision and you're like, I want to do this thing, and yet it's just so far away from what you thought you would want, or like how you saw your life going, or it just never, you're like, this never even occurred to me. But once you start peeling back some of your layers of like conditioning, or the masks and protections you had over yourself, the identity you built out of survival, when you start peeling back the layers and you start, exploring, what do you like and what do you want to do, and like, who are you, and what lights me up, and things like that, you can be like a completely different person to who you thought you would be. And a lot of the times it's really scary to do the things that are like on your heart to do, because they just may not be praised. It just may not be validated. They're like, and that is the thing. That is like authenticity is, that's why it doesn't feel like, you think, if I'm aligned, everything's going to feel so easy and flow. And it does, if you can set aside your ego. But unfortunately, when you actually start being more authentic and actually really being authentic and things like that, your ego is going to be like screaming at you, because it's just like, you are just not like, this is not safe. This is not safe to be speaking your truth, um, honoring, like putting in place boundaries, like honoring your yeses and nos, despite what other people think. You're going to make other people uncomfortable. You're going to disappoint other people. Other people are not going to like when you say no to the things you said yes to before. You may be on a completely different career path. You may actually want to break away from like all your friendship groups and have different friends. It's like, it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. It's growth. Like, literally, when you just look in nature, you think of growth. Like, you think like a snake shedding its skin, like a caterpillar like melting down to turn into a butterfly. None of that, like, doesn't seem that comfortable. And that is energetically what we do. We shed skins, and it, although at a soul level you will feel free, but in your mind, your ego, your, like, the human will always, that will always be there. But the more you do this in small steps, the more you start to like trust yourself, and you'll actually see the benefit in your life. So it does get kind of, probably doesn't get like easier to do, but you start to build that trust, and you kind of do it without hesitating as much, because on the other side of this is expansion, is growth, is more of the feelings that we want to feel. Um, so yeah, getting in the feelings as much as possible. What's the next step? Um, yeah, doing things that like feel good, like that, not comfortable, but feel good, to that like light you up and keep you here. Doing those things, and also like, when you start doing this, and then you'll have the thoughts and emotions come up, you have to learn how to like process or neutralize these. Well, basically it's like transmute them into this. So there's some skills that you have to learn about, like limiting beliefs and how to process your emotions in a way that transmutes them to like how you would rather feel. And like inner child stuff comes in here, because that is like a gentle way of doing that. But remember, it's always, you don't need to get stuck in that. if you can just choose, if you can just catch yourself in the moment, be like, okay, I'm feeling like this. We're not going to make a big thing of it, but can I just choose the other feelings? Can I like tap into that vibration? Do I need to do like a quick visualization or gratitude and do that titration of gratitude up? And basically, as you start doing this, and as you do this, like live your life, I kind of for a while got stuck like in the waiting, because again that was like an ego trap, because that was like comfortable. But like start living your life, and then the more you can stay in these emotions, you will get like impulses to take action. And the thing about the action is it mightn't make sense. It might make sense as to like why you're doing it or what you're doing. For an example, like sometimes it's just like, for me, it's like go have a bath or have a shower, and it's like, no, I wanted to record this video, or I should go to the gym and do the thing. And sometimes when I do that, it like doesn't make sense. But then when I do it, when I kind of follow it, I'll get like the best idea for something, or I'll something will just come up where I'm like, oh, that workout plan that I was going to do, there's actually like a better one. I don't know, that's a bad example, but it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but it's like you have these like divine downloads, and you're like, oh, one of them is I were like, yeah, started going to the gym and eating a certain way and things like that to start like building muscle or body recomposition, lose fat and build muscle. And then I started getting like quite a bit into it. So it was like 3 months, and then I was getting like hormonal acne again, like a lot that I used to get when like I healed my periods and things like that. And then I started getting it, and I was like, what? Um, and I wanted to go into the like, oh my God, it's happening again. Like, how do I fix myself? Do I need to, what do I need to do? Or do I need to like buy more supplements and things like that? And instead I was just like, okay, let's just calm down and just trust that like I'll figure it out, like, and kind of like put it out there. It's like, I don't need to make big changes. I don't need to like invest loads of money to try and fix this. Let's just kind of see what happens. And just stayed in these feelings. Like I was just kind of visualizing my skin being like clear and stuff like that. And then I got this like download like about the whey protein. I was, even though I'd been having it for a while, so I wouldn't have like thought of that, but just out of nowhere, it was just like, I should probably change that. And I kind of ignored it. And then I was like scrolling online the next day, and next thing a post comes up and it's like reasons for acne. And like the first one was like whey protein. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna like cut back on the whey protein. And yeah, like the next month, nothing, all gone. And like I could have gone into like making that really hard, thinking, oh, my health, I'm going backwards again, like things are happening. Like hormonal health, if you've had like burnout or bad like health scare and things like that, that anxiety that comes up when you think you're going to get sick again, or you think something's off. But I have really learned to like trust. It's like, no, the more I can stay in the fact I am a healthy person, I've got no health issues, like I've got loads of energy, like I don't really get sick, if at all. When I just stay in that, no matter what, it's just my health does just get better and better. And I've overcome it for like health and hormonal issues, and I would say emotional and mental health, like things like nervous system dysregulation, like overcome all of that, healed myself of all of that, as well as like other things that like are a bonus on top, which is like being more myself and more accepting of myself, and just loving life more and making life a bit more of a vibe, and just like loving the life I have while I work towards what I want as well. But I never thought that I could be here. I never thought I could feel like that, because I was always battling with like my mind, and my emotions were probably like my own worst. I was my own worst enemy. And I didn't believe that I could program myself. I tried hypnosis and saw therapists and all this, and nothing really helped until like I've done all this work, not just manifestation, but the things in between. And basically, like I said, each time you do this and you just, whatever you do, just believe like it's already happened. Just stay in the feeling of it already happening. And when you come out of that, don't make yourself wrong. Just find whatever way you need to do, whatever you need to do, whether that's emotional regulation work, maybe it's just to do something fun, maybe it's to rest, maybe it's to see a friend, whatever it is that just brings you back into that vibration, just do that. Flipping the thoughts, emotions, like beliefs and things like that. And then when the action feels in this frequency, do that action. If action doesn't feel in this frequency, if you feel like you're doing it out of urgency and pressure and I have to again, stop and let's realign before you take the action, and see if once you've realigned, do you still need to take that action or no? And basically, all this creates a compound effect of energy. We've done the jar before, but it fills up your jar. Each one of those comes in, and when the jar is full, it's like that's when you see it in reality. But every time you come out of this, remember, you're either, if you come out of it and you're just accepting, this is just like, I just have some emotions to process, or this is just a phase and I know my bounce back, I'll just be back to it tomorrow or whatever. But remember, the longer you stay in the lack and the anger, the fear, the guilt, it's like then you fill up your cup with those. So that's why if you think, oh, it's not working, I'm never going to get it, like number one, that's you putting what you don't want in your jar. So it's taking up the space of what you do want, but also it will never be full of the ideal life feeds, whatever you want. It'll never be full if you keep going back here. But if you do go back there, just remember to not make yourself wrong for it, and just do what you need to get out of it. Even if that's to process these, that's fine. But get back up to these so that you can start filling up your jar again. And just remember, if you feel like you are not getting what you want, then it's just because your jar is not full. So you just need to get back in the feeling of already having what you want. And there's obviously nuances to this, because I've just told you the old frequency comes up, the emotions come up, the thoughts that make you feel like they're really your thoughts when they're not, they're your ego, they come up. And we have to regulate our nervous system enough. We have to become familiar with ourselves enough to recognize this and be able to have the tools to get out of this. And also, can I just say, not just tools, but support. If I didn't have people mirroring back to me that this is normal and just do this, sometimes it's just somebody saying something back to you, and it's I can see you're in scarcity right now. Do you think you're in scarcity? It's oh yes. Which if fear is not true and only love is true, then if you're thinking fearful thoughts or fearful scenarios, or it's a fearful state, then is this true? No, that's not true. So just get back on what is true, what you want to be true. And then the universe gives you whatever you say you want. But if you're giving out these, then that you're saying I want more of that, then you're in a loop. You're going to keep seeing the same thing in your reality, the same thing happen. So just know this is you already, but you just need to fill the jar. You just need to fill the jar. And that's, I don't know, I'm not, maybe I'm a drop of the universe, but there is no when, but when it's full, but you just have to trust and stay in the energy. And every time you come out of the energy, then you're not filling up your cup. So of course you're not going to see it. So you have to stay in the energy. And at the end of the day, one thing that I thought when I started doing this work is what do I have to lose? What do I have to lose in being in like a good mood every day? And it's not like toxic positivity stuff. It's like genuinely like, it's like I couldn't let myself enjoy my life if I didn't have what I wanted, which is just ridiculous. It's just so like I've wasted so much time when actually you can just enjoy what you have now and be grateful for the things that you do have and be in the energy of already having it. And you just need to overcome your ego, making you feel that if I don't feel bad, if I don't feel guilty and shameful and angry and resentful and fearful, if I don't feel those, then I'm not safe. But that's not true. That's not true. You'll be able to solve a lot of your problems better from those higher frequencies. So don't let your ego think that that's the way your life has to be, or else you're not safe or you can't have it until. That is survival mindset, and we're not here for that. So if you found this helpful, let me know. If I've said anything in here that you would like to know more about, let me know as well. And join me on Substack, or for one-on-ones, just reach out, just email me. And yeah, see you in the next one.